So if it
Alright, we
fails,
about to do the
change
damn
it. It will
soup.
take like 2 5 minutes, and you're back up and running again. If one of the
If
cables fails, it only affects that machine connected to that
this shit don't taste good, we
cable.
putting it back.
If the machine itself fails, then
That
it's
is
just that machine that's affected. You can just go and change that machine, and just change the cable connected to that machine, and it'll be up and running. A mesh topology, guys, if you don't know what that is not one I see often. The only places I really see those is in an actual server environment. So mesh topology is where every device in that network, big or small, is connected to every other device with a cable. So if you've got 5 devices, let me draw you guys a picture here. Here we go. I've got 5 devices. Every one of these 5 devices, every one of these little circles represents a device.
Campbell's
Every
favorite
one of
chunky.
these devices is connected to every one of the other devices. So you can see there's going to be a lot of cables. Every one of these lines is a network cable. That's a lot of cables.
That shit chunky.
This is just 5 devices, and look at the amount of cables we've got here. So imagine for a moment you've got 20, 50, or even 100, or possibly even more devices than that. And imagine now again that all these devices are connected to all the other ones. You know how many cables we're talking about here, guys? It's an insane amount of cables. Now I think I've kind of given away the answer here. So reading the question again, which of the following topologies requires
Niggas ain't eat no food all goddamn day.
You guys know which one it is?
You probably fucking really like.
Because in the mesh network, every device is connected to every other device. But because it can very quickly get out of hand, you actually need a formula to be able to work out how many cables you need. In case you're wondering what that formula looks like. But by the way, the answer is mesh, in case you guys don't know. If you don't know what the formula looks like, there is the formula, guys. You can go check it. N is going to be replaced by the amount of devices. So if you look at my picture, I've got 5 circles, that's 5 devices. I'm going to keep it small so you can see how this works. So N is going to be replaced by the amount of devices. So in other words, N is going to be replaced by 5 in this instance. You can see here, here's what it looks like once I've replaced N with 5. You can see there, that's what it looks like once I've started working it out. And the final answer is 10. If you look at my picture on the right, you'll see that it really is 10 cables supposed to use there. So that's the actual.
I got the nerve to be blowing on the soup like it's hot. This shit ain't hot.
5 pieces. But what if it wasn't just 5 pieces?
I'm trying to think about.
You would have probably needed some sort of formula to be able to work this sucker out. So that is why I've given you guys the formula for this one. Alright, let's get back to business, guys. Question 40. You notice that after contact with several switches in an MDF, they failed due to electrostatic discharge. Which of the following sensors should the administrator deploy to best monitor static electricity conditions in the MDF environment? Alright, so static electricity, in case you guys don't know, in case you didn't watch the A plus or N plus videos,
I'm trying to think how.
it's got enough static electricity in it to go and blow sensitive circuitry like motherboards, RAM chips, certain components in the certain environment. So generally, you want to make sure that you discharge properly, but that's not what this question is about. They want to know
It's not tomorrow.
Sensor, what kind of monitor can we go and put in this environment to see where
bro,
where
you gonna be?
Electricity? Which one would it be? I'm giving you the 4 possible answers.
Where you see all this motherfucking shit here. Stop playing games with me.
Smoke or a voltage needed. So to know which one it is, you need to understand what we normally do in, for example, the environment to avoid static electricity or to.
You know damn well you don't keep no house.
Talking about practicing, discharging yourself and working on a rubber mat and wearing what they call an anti-static wrist strap. No, we're not talking about that. Generally, I'm going to probably give the answer away now when I say this. Generally,
that'd be the real reason why, bro.
For environments like that, we strive for approximately a 50% humidity level. Now, you're not always going to get it perfectly at 50%. You know the answer is now. Sometimes it might be 45%, sometimes it might be 55%. We want to try and get it to as close as possible to 50% humidity level. If there is too much humidity in that room, then condensation is going to take place, and you can imagine water droplets and stuff on electronics is not a good thing. It's not something we want. If the humidity is too low, that means it's going to be very dry. That means there's a lot of static as well. So considering they're talking about static here,
blowing
components or whatnot, my guess would be humidity is too low. It's lower than 50%, probably way low. It's too dry in there. So you want to get a little bit more humidity in there, not too much because that's also bad. So you want to try and get it up to about 50%. So the monitor or sensor we're looking for is not temperature, although that's not a bad one to have in an environment.
Black people, brown people.
Stuff. It's not a bad sensor, but it's unrelated to this question. If it gets too hot, your components will get non-responsive and laggy, and it's just bad. Humidity, that's to help with your static. So this is just to make sure you don't have condensation taking place and stuff like that. Smoke is in the event of fire hazards and stuff like that. So that's also something you want to use in environments. That's not bad. A voltage meter is not really something we as technicians use. I'm not saying it's bad. That's something an electrician would go and use. It's a little unrelated to us computer technicians or us engineers.
What's wrong with these niggas? Pay for these niggas.
You are performing tests on a potentially faulty network card that is installed in a server. Which of the following addresses will most
something wrong with these people, bro?
During traffic diagnostic tests? So I suspect
y'all need to tune into the money books.
Someone else's network card in the server is faulty. What can I do with regards to testing? Which network address can I basically go and ping if I want to check if my network card is working? Is it, for example, the first one here, 127.0.0.1? No, that is a loopback address. So I wouldn't say it's completely useless. That is to test your own TCP/IP stack. It is to test your own network card. If I want to do network or traffic diagnostic tests, I also want to see if traffic actually leaves my environment, does it reach the destination, that kind of stuff. So it might not necessarily be the best IP address. So, at the end of the day, the question says which of the following will most likely be used. So I'm not completely ruling A out, but it's not the best one in my opinion if I look at this list. If you look at answer B, that is a subnet mask, right? It's not an IP address that you use for diagnostics. It's a subnet mask that basically dictates how big your network is. And that's a normal class C subnet, which basically contains 256 IPs, of which 254 is usable. Not something that's related to this specific question. I wouldn't say it's not related to the course, it is, but it's unrelated to this specific question. Answer C, it could be, it is a private IP address, but it is a class A IP address, and it's extremely unlikely you'll be using an IP address like that. It's very, very unlikely. Question does say, which the following addresses will most likely be used? It's not saying that it won't be used. It's definitely not B, but it could potentially be A, C, or D. Looking at all three of those, D is the most likely one, guys. It's a normal class C IP address that you can go and use. You can go ping that sucker over the network to go and do the diagnostics and all that.
And if I am, tell me why. If I'm not, what am I missing?
This holiday, Verizon will turn your old or broken phone into a gift. Trade in any phone in any condition and get Google Pixel 9 Pro with Gemini, an AI assistant for Google, plus watch and tap, all free on us. Survive the holidays with Google, powered by Verizon.
This is the real reason to go buy a gadget.
99% of people eat Cheetos with their dominant hand, even football players and plastic surgeons. As a what? Using your other hand? It's a Cheetos thing.
Tear into softness with wavy edges. Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear.
This shit tastes alright. Throw that bitch up.